Public speaking? No one likes public speaking. It makes you nervous. It's scary. And sometimes you might feel like you made a fool out of yourself. Well, I'm here to help you get past that and hopefully give you all some pointers that maybe will ease those fears and help you speak better in public. My name is Chris Hargraves, and this is my case assignment for Communications Class 104 at Touro University with Dr. Dawson. Today I'm going to speak about some components of effective speech. I'm also going to talk about the setting and why that's important. I'm also going to talk about why public speaking is important. It's a good idea to know why you're going to be speaking in public and why you should have these skills. And I'm also going to talk about some nonverbal cues you'll give your audience that you might not think about. And I'm also going to talk about some technology you can use to help you in your presentation. So, with that, let me begin with components of effective speech. One, you need to speak clearly. That's really important. Your audience has to be able to understand what you're saying and clearly and not mishear any words you're going to give them. You also want to be confident. You want to stand there upright, positive, and draw their attention in and have them believe you are an expert of what you're talking about and they need to listen to you. You also want to use the appropriate language. If you're talking to a group of businessmen, you don't want to use language that you would for a third grade class. Now, if you're speaking to a third grade class, you don't want to use words they can't understand. You want to bring your speaking level down to them so they can understand what you're saying and understand and get your points that you're going to try and make. So, with these couple of components of effective speech, I'm going to get into why public speaking is important. One, the biggest one of all, is that at some point in your life, you're going to have to give a speech. Might not like it, but it's inevitable. It's going to happen. So, some examples of when you might have to give a speech would be work. Your boss might assign you a task to speak to your peers about a certain subject at work, and you're going to have to stand up there and do it. Another place would be school. Like in this situation, I'm in a communications class. I have to give speeches and submit them to my professor for him to grade. So there's another chance that you will have to speak in public. You might also speak at a wedding. We all have friends. They get married. You could be the best man. Well, if you're the best man, guess what? You got to give the toast. So if you're giving the toast, that's a form of public speaking, even though you might not think it is. You're still going to stand up. You're going to be in front of a bunch of people, and they're all going to be looking at you. So that is another one. And if you're in the unfortunate circumstance of having to give a eulogy at a funeral, that's another form of public speaking where you have to really think about what you're going to say and where you are in your environment. Excuse me. Now, speaking of environment, your setting. Your setting matters on your speech. When I did my first video, the introduction video, I shot it in my garage there because I had some props and I had to show them, and it was just the best place to do it. Now I'm shooting this video inside my house where I have a little bit more of a different environment. So now that I'm inside, the sound quality might be different. I might have an echo effect, or in the garage I might have had an echo effect. So you have to think about that. Lighting. In my garage is a little darker, probably a little harder to see. That's okay, but now that I'm inside, I have better lighting. It's easier for you to see me, and therefore I have better visual with you and the audience. Another place would be, another item would be space to use. In my garage, it's kind of small, kind of tight. Now I'm in my living room, I can pull my coffee table away, and now I have room to walk around. I can move and show things and do things that I couldn't in a tighter space. So, remember your setting and where you're at. Another key point of effective speak or public speaking would be verbal and nonverbal cues. A verbal cue would be like how I introduced myself. I came in, spoke real loud, real boisterous, caught your attention, and hopefully drew you in to pay attention to me, which is what you want your audience to do. That way they're listening to what you have to say. Now, nonverbal cues would be attire. In my introduction video, we had to discuss our careers and our career plans and why we're taking the class. I'm in the military, I'm a military member, and I will be until I retire. So I wore my uniform, effective for what I was talking about. Now I'm giving a speech on public speaking, so I dress a little more professionally, maybe a little bit more like a college student. Therefore, I draw your attention and I look like I know what I'm doing, or at least I am where I should be. Another key item, eye contact. Look at your audience. Make eye contact with them. Talk to them, not at them. No one wants to be talked at. Everybody wants to be talked to like they're a person and they're part of the conversation you're giving. So remember to have good eye contact with your audience. Another item would be posture. If I come in and I'm giving a speech and I'm standing up tall and proud and just showing confidence, your audience is going to believe you know what you're talking about and that you're an expert in what you're talking about. If I come in and I'm all slouched over and kind of head down, who's going to think I know what I'm talking about? Not many people in your audience. So keep that in mind. And then pacing. A lot of people don't think about pacing, but you want to go back and forth. You want to each side of your audience make eye contact with the left side, make eye contact with the right side. Keep them involved, keep them feel like you're talking to them and not at them, like I stated earlier. So you can move around a little bit, it's okay. Especially if you have a prop or something you want to show, you can walk over to it and show them. Moving helps ease your nerves, and it also is an effective way to draw the attention so the audience is not just staring in one direction. So with that in mind, keep those points in, as you're giving a speech, keep those points in mind. Now, as I said, you might walk over to a prop or show something. Technology. It's a day and age of technology. We're all used to it. Why not use it to your advantage in your presentation? One thing you can use, PowerPoint slide. We've all seen them. Sometimes they're boring, but that's what people use. If you choose that route, remember to keep your slide with bare minimum information on it. Too much information will have your audience reading instead of listening to what you have to say. And also make sure it's on the point that you're talking about. Don't have it have back items or future items you're going to discuss. Keep it on point and keep it simple. That's something really easy to use. Short videos. You can use a video to help emphasize the point you're making. 5-10 minute video, in my opinion, not the best idea. Your audience is going to watch it and it might go into a little bit too much of what you're trying to make. Keep it short, 30 seconds, maybe a minute, just to really bring out the point you're trying to make. Another item you could use, lights. I'm not talking about white lights that everybody has when they're in a conference or on a stage. How about colored lights? If you're talking to a group of firefighters and you're talking about vision while fighting fires, great way to enhance what you're saying and bringing up is light your area up in red. What an effective freaking piece to use. Not hard to do, easy to get by with. So think about lighting as you do it also. Another item, camera. What if you are speaking to an audience of 200 people? You've got 75 rows. The people in the back aren't going to see you that well. You can use cameras. Have monitors up so that way they can see you, feel like you're making eye contact to them, and everybody can hear and see you clearly. Really good item to use if you're giving a speech to a large audience. And one other item is a teleprompter. Teleprompters are good for you because it keeps you on track. Music bands use them all the time to help the singer remember what they're singing, what song they're on. Why can't you use it for your speech? Instead of having to think in your head, what am I talking about next? You have the teleprompter to keep you in line and keep you on your outline and your goals of what you're trying to accomplish. So it's another item you can use. So keep that in mind when you speak. So to end my speech, I'd like to recap what I was talking about. I talked about effective components of speech. I talked about settings. I talked about why public speaking is important. Some nonverbal cues that you might want to think about if you're going to give a speech, and some technology you can use. So hopefully this helped you out. I hope it'll help you ease your nerves when you're in a public speaking environment. And I just want to say thank you for listening and have a great day.